Sorrento Surprise, a magical mystery tour. Our rendezvous for our surprise Vespa ride was the beautiful bayside town of Sorrento on the Esplanade. The Geelong crew arriving via the Queen's Cliff ferry led by Farn, and the Melbourne crew heading out from Frankston Pier, led by our ride organizer Pam. This ride was posted by Farn originally, and then the final ride route organized by Pam a few days prior, on Australia Day. Pam had included some special, surprise locales. Upon leaving Sorrento at 10 a.m. sharp, we rode off for mysterious mayhem on the Mornington Peninsula. Travelling along Melbourne Road and Browns Road, we then turned south towards Kate's Shank and the Kate's Shank Lighthouse Reserve, where we walked to a gorgeous lookout with views to a unique 19th century lighthouse. We posed for group photos. Pam spoke to us about Mr. and Mrs. Shank and why they couldn't finish painting the top of Cape Shank Lighthouse. Interesting. Our magical mystery surprise was back up the Cape Shank Road. Stopping on the side of the road, we ventured into the bush along a narrow path. Within a few short steps, we were amazed to see our mystery surprise, Fort Prest's bunker. This bunker wasn't built from paranoia. We were informed by our ride leader Pam that the truth of the structure was worth a quotation from her smartphone from the geocaching app. Pam went on to say, in the late 1960s, early 1970s, Fort Prest used to frequent the Cape Shank area to enjoy the diving and the desolate feel of the place. On the way to the Cape one day, he spied a for sale sign along the Cape Shank Road. He called the agent and ended up buying the undeveloped building block for $500 in the very early 1970s. Originally he used to camp there and then decided it would be good to have a more permanent building. And on, and on. Very interesting. We rode on to Flinders, once known as Mendy Moog, at the point where Western Port meets Bus Straight. At the jetty for another photo stop and Pam's local information talk. We've all learned so much. Mr. and Mrs. Shank and about their baby lamb Shanks, who were friends of Mr. and Mrs. Jetty. The Shank and Jetty children went to school together. Apparently Mrs. Jetty had a fizzy fit and threw away a bucket of nails while building the pier at Flinders. That's why it only has 10,793 nails instead of the mandatory 11,150. Very, very interesting. Our picnic lunch was in the Bass Park Reserve, part of the Flinders Golf Course. Sunning ourselves, eating lunch, dodging the golf balls. Our return trip was via Joran, Red Hill, and stopping again at Arthur's Seat. Rising above the Mornington Peninsula, Arthur's Seat is the most familiar of all Port Phillip Bay landscape features. Its spectacular views of the bay and Port Phillip Heads. We had a clear day. The view extends as far as the city skyline, the Yangs and Mount Macedon. We said goodbyes, our two groups, and headed back down the winding road to the Point Nepean Road. A big thanks to Pam for organizing this mysterious mayhem on the Mornington Peninsula. Or was it fun?